Welcome, everybody, to an InterNACHI webinar. We're going to perform a home inspection tonight. My name is Ben Gromicko. I'm from InterNACHI. That's the International Association of Certified Home Inspectors. We're the world's leading organization of residential and commercial property inspectors, and we do free online courses provided by our school, accredited college, internachi.edu. We also do free live interactive webinars open to everybody at nachi.org/webinars. So feel free to join us on a webinar. We're going to inspect this home. If you wanted to follow me, I got a couple social media channels. I throw up short little videos about home inspections. Feel free to follow me. Just go to Instagram, YouTube, or Facebook or Twitter and search for my name, Ben Gromicko. Maybe add InterNACHI to your search, InterNACHI Ben Gromicko. Let's inspect this home. We had about 200 people, 204 last time I looked, half an hour ago, register for this webinar. So thank you for all being here. Feel free to ask questions using the Q&A feature and the chat feature. Thanks for registering at nachi.org/webinars. I think we're streaming on YouTube live right now. But if you have a question, feel free to post it. If you have something in the chat, tell everybody where you are, say hello. I'm looking. Anna says, I'm having fun already. Awesome. Do you think this is a problem? This is a picture that I took from this house. So you should probably think this is a defect. This is a major defect. I've never seen anything so wonderfully chaotic all by itself. This chimney stack moved just like that, all by itself. It's amazing what weather, water, the sun, cold, snow, rain, ice. It's fantastic. Home inspectors have a lot of fun doing this. Do you think this is a problem? This is an old fuse panel in this home. I mean, these connections are okay, but like, what is going on up here? There's some kind of damaged wire. I'm not sure about the connection. There's a lot of stuff going on in here. And the fuses, this one's overrated. Can't have a really big fuse or breaker on a small gauge wire. Do you think this is a problem? They don't make these anymore. I like this picture because they just don't make this furnace anymore. This is a natural draft, gas-fired, forced air furnace. And we got a couple problems here. How about this? This is an end of a pipe. Looks like a drain pipe of some kind, maybe a discharge pipe, and it's dripping. It's copper, obviously. A dripping pipe doesn't necessarily mean a defect, but this one is. This is a defect, and I'll tell you why, because of the type of discharge pipe and what it's connected to. Here's another discharge pipe. This is discharging from a clothes washer into this pipe, and that's a defect. Can't have that. Do you think this is a problem? This is all from this home. So we're going to inspect this home and go over these problems. There's a couple problems in there. We already went over the knob and tube wiring defect. And this is a problem at the stairs to the attic space on the 3rd floor. And this is a problem as well. Okay, so those are some of the problems that we're going to find during this home inspection. So thanks for joining us. We're going to perform an inspection. Oh, if you're interested in joining InterNACHI, I've got a couple offers for you. A 1-month free trial membership. Go to nachi.org/trial and enter the code webinar month. Or if you really want to join for an entire year at a 50% discount, go to the same URL, nachi.org/trial, and enter the code webinar. InterNACHI is an organization. Within the organization is an accredited college, accredited by a national accrediting agency recognized by the U.S. Department of Education, a real home inspector college. So if you're considering where to go to get trained and certified, don't go to an unaccredited school. I'd never send my kids to an unaccredited school. Neither should you. Go to internachi.edu. Always look for .edu. And thinking of business and marketing, we're going to talk about business and marketing. If you'd like, feel free to ask questions about business and marketing in relation to home inspections. But if you need a new custom designed website, InterNACHI's official vendor for website designs, they only design websites for InterNACHI inspectors. So you have to be a member of InterNACHI. And then if you're interested in getting the details, for only $299, they'll do a full customized website with SEO and analytics and chat features. It's a really great deal. nachi.org/website, or go to Google right now and search for inspector website builder.com. Inspector website builder.com. Let's inspect this home. Let's inspect this home. We're going to learn how this home works. We're going to find problems. We're going to talk about following its standards of practice. We can also discuss using inspection software or checklists. I've got the inspection report. We can read through the inspection report, including the summary. We can talk about getting trained and certified as a home inspector. We can talk about business and marketing. Feel free to ask questions. And this webinar, like all of our InterNACHI webinars, is being video recorded so you can watch it later. Everyone who registers for an InterNACHI webinar gets a link to the video recording. This is a morning of me performing inspections for a living. I was a home inspector for about a dozen years in southeastern PA, suburbs of Philadelphia. Had a couple hundred friendly competitors as home inspectors, but we were like the ruling, most successful home inspection business. And I wanted to share my schedule with you so that you can think about, how long does a home inspection take? How am I going to do an inspection? If I was a home inspector, how am I going to schedule my day? Can I do 2 inspections a day? Yep, you can do 2 inspections a day. So I would leave my house at about 7 o'clock. I'd arrive early. Where I'm from, if you're on time, you're late. So arrive early and inspect the roof. Inspect the roof from the ground, at least. If you have a ladder, if you're trained in ladder safety, we have a course on that. There are a couple courses on ladder safety. You can use a ladder to get up on the roof. You're not required to walk upon any roof surface, according to the InterNACHI Home Inspection Standards of Practice. So I'll get there early and inspect the roof. And then around 8 o'clock, the official start time of the home inspection, the next home inspection is going to be about 12:30. So I have some time there. Home inspection is going to take about 2.5, 3 hours. I get a lunch break, drive to the next job, and do another inspection before I come home before 5. 8:15, heavy stuff, big systems, difficult, challenging systems. HVAC, the plumbing supply, the drain waste vent, the water heat source, the water heating source, electrical and structure. Those systems there, they take a long time, almost like 2 hours. After that, if I'm in the attic at 10 o'clock, if my inspection started at 8, 2 hours later, no matter where I'm at, if it started at 12:30, 2:30, I'm in the attic. So 2 hours after my start time, I should been in the attic. And usually the attic for me means the very top portion of the unfinished space above the second floor, third floor rooms. And I'm working my way down to finish my inspection. So I have about half hour to an hour left. If I'm in the attic 2 hours in, I'm happy because I'm managing my time really well. So you just can't do a home inspection and not think about time management. In business, I mean, the general rule in business, in the home inspection business, is like you divide the amount of money you're going to charge for a home inspection, divide it by your time. So if you're going to let's make it simple. If you're going to charge $300 and it takes you 3 hours, $100 an hour is pretty good living. You can make a really good living being a home inspector. And InterNACHI provides you with everything you need to start a business, get trained as a home inspector, get certified, have continuing education, get a license if your state requires it. We have business strategies. We have a business course. We've got a marketing team. All of their work is free. A lot of free membership benefits. Lots of discounts on tools and apparel and vehicles. So one of the things that we teach in the home inspection business and marketing course is time management. You have to manage your time well. No one wants to experience an 8-hour home inspection. So managing your time well is not just really good for you, your client, the building owner, but it's essential and critical for being successful in any business. Manage your resources well, and the most precious resource is your time. I do the other systems. I'm inspecting the interior, the bathrooms. I'm working my way down to the kitchen, really. I'm heading to the kitchen. I do the garage, the laundry. And then about 11 o'clock, 3 hours after the official start time, my client shows up at 8. Around 11 o'clock, we're finishing up. We're reviewing the summary. I use inspection report writing software. At a click of a button, I can make a summary. And then I promise my client within 24 hours, the full report will be available, unless I'm way ahead of my schedule, or I don't have a second inspection to do, or I have some time, about a half an hour, I can pound out the entire report with all the pictures and videos. And then you charge your client right there. We used to tell our clients we like to get paid right after you tell us you're 100% satisfied with the home inspection. They're not satisfied, they don't have to pay us. That's a pretty good deal, pretty good guarantee, right? I mean, if my client is not satisfied after 3.5 hours of inspecting, I'm doing something wrong and I want to know about it. And I'm going to fix it right then and there. It never happened. And so we got paid right then and there. Nowadays, I would ask for a Google review. I'd schedule a home maintenance checkup 1 year from now. If they pay for it, then they get a discount. Let's say it's $100 for home maintenance checkup in a year, which only takes about a half an hour. They can get a discount, $50 if they schedule it right now, right? Things like that. You have an opportunity to really wrap things up, especially a Google review. Every client should be doing a Google review at the end of your inspection, right? At the height of their happiness with you, you ask them for a Google review or some kind of survey. All home inspections, all great home inspections are based upon the standards of practice. It is the foundation upon which you build a great inspection service. The standards of practice tells you and everybody, the public, what you're required to inspect and not inspect. That's such great information. You can use it as a guide to your inspection process, and you can use it as a way to set your client's expectations. A lot of people don't know what a home inspection is. A lot of contractors have no idea what a home inspector does. Contractors are so funny. We home inspectors make lists of things to go fix. And if you can't fix them yourself, you hire a contractor, right? We influence around $8 billion worth of home improvement renovation projects every year in the United States. Home inspectors. Clients of contractors, we're about 6 months upstream from any client of a contractor. We influence so much, but contractors get it all messed up. They think we're supposed to see behind walls and stuff like that. We can't see behind walls. The standards of practice tells my clients what I can see. And a home inspection, for those of you who don't know, is a visual only inspection. It's like taking both my hands, putting them behind my back, tying them, and me going through a home and looking, trying to find problems and describing those problems. That's what a home inspection is. It's a visual only inspection. We don't move anything. We don't dismantle anything. We don't take apart anything. We don't look inside walls and stuff like that. So we communicate our observations and write to our clients a report that describes indications of problems. Like if I observe an indication of a roof leak, I'm going to tell my client. Home inspection standards, everything starts with the standards of practice. On the roof, the roof section of the standards of practice is really good. It's like a checklist. So let's go there. This is the InterNACHI home inspection standards of practice. What am I supposed to do during a home inspection? I'm required to inspect from ground level or the eaves. Remember, you're not required to walk upon any roof. I have to inspect these things: A, B, C, D, E. Roof covering materials, gutters, downspouts, vents, flashing, skylights, chimneys, and other roof penetrations in the general roof structure. What else am I supposed to do? I have to describe the type of roof covering materials. Okay, what else am I supposed to do? I have to report as a need of correction, most important thing, active roof leaks. Observed indications of active roof leaks. Okay, so let's go back. Here's the roof. Remember, I get there early, start on the roof. I'm up on the roof. Remember, you're not required to walk upon the roof. I do. It was part of my brand. My brand, the thing that distinguishes me from other home inspectors. Before I was a home inspector, I was a home builder. So getting up on the roof with a ladder, it was very comfortable. If you're not comfortable, fly a drone. You can get certified through InterNACHI. So getting up on the roof was part of my brand, and that was part of my marketing as well. Your brand is the answer to the question, why should I hire you instead of any other inspector? Because we're basically all doing the same thing. We're inspecting homes according to the same standards of practice. So what makes us different from all the rest? Well, it's the other stuff. It's marketing. And that's where InterNACHI can help you. It isn't just enough to learn how to inspect a roof like this. To be successful in the home inspection industry, in the home inspection service industry, and to run a successful home inspection company, you have to have business and marketing resources. And all of them through InterNACHI is free. You can join a group and they talk about stuff, have conversations about business and things like that, operations and marketing, services and strategies. InterNACHI does that through an accredited college, all for free for our members. That's why InterNACHI members, InterNACHI inspectors are so successful. I love this shot. This is a marketing, this is a money shot, right? This describes with 1,000 words, right? A picture's worth 1,000 words. What I'm doing for my clients. I'm getting up there close and I'm touching the roof. Of course, I know the condition of the roof. I'm not guessing from the grass. I am right there. I'm on the roof, touching it, getting up close and personal. If there's a problem on the roof, I'm going to find it. And that was a distinguishing characteristic of our service. And what I do is I take a ton of pictures. I probably took 40 pictures of the roof, every roof surface, looking for anything missing, cracked, damaged, trying to guess the age if I don't know, looking at where a plane, a field, a flat surface meets another flat surface, right? This is flashing it as a valley flashing area, or where something penetrates, makes a hole through the roofing materials. If there's a hole through if something comes through, first there's a hole and then you stick the thing through, right? So first there was a hole and then there's a pipe that comes through. Around that thing, around that pipe, around that vent pipe, around that vent, there's flashing. And it shouldn't be heavy black tar silicone sealant, right? That's for driveways and this temporary patching. On the roof, you want things like this, clean metal flashing in between planes or around the thing that penetrated through the roof covering material. That's why you got to get up and close. Oh, I also do videos too.
The asphalt roof covering appears to be in functional condition. I don't see anything cracked, damaged, or missing. The shingles are lying flat. The granular surface looks good. The valley flashings at the dormers appear to be functional. I'm not sure if this stack is being used. If it's being used, it needs major repair because of the masonry The bricks are out of position.
Little video. It's a while back, low quality, right? Let's see. Do I have another video here?
The mortar joints are weathered and missing. And the chimney is very wide, so it needs a cricket or saddle flashing. The chimney on the front right side appears to be newer. The exterior brick looks great. 2 flues. I guess this one's for the fireplace. The flashing looks great, well sealed.
And I use video because I want to impress my client. I wish my client was up there, right? I don't allow anybody to come up on the roof with me. So when I come down and meet my client for the first time in the driveway, right, at about 8 o'clock, they pull in, shake hands, first impressions, fresh breath, business cards, and I tell them the condition of the home, condition of the roof that I just inspected, right? I got down from my ladder, and I'll turn my device to them, my iPhone or iPad, tablet, and I'll play the videos. Every time I play videos from a roof inspection for my clients who didn't have to go up on the roof with me, they're just shocked and so pleasantly surprised. And they're kind of like, we hired the right inspector, right? So I don't know why you wouldn't take a lot of pictures and a lot of video. It's free. Your device should be big enough to handle a lot of videos. And your clients would just love it. Remember, you're in the business of providing valuable information. You're not in the business of doing a home inspection according to the standards of practice. Nope. You are in the business of providing value to your clients, and your clients have hired you to give them valuable information that they need in order to make a smart decision. And so in business, you want to overwhelm your clients with value. Doing a video of the roof that they can't see themselves is incredibly valuable. Oh, we could just increase our fees like nuts, because every time you add value, you should get paid for it, right? In business, if the perceived value is much greater than the cost, then it's a good decision. If the perceived value of the information that you're providing your client is it's overwhelming in comparison to the cost of getting that information, if the value of that information is in the thousands of dollars, like I just showed you, that chimney stack is messed up, right? That is a multi-thousand-dollar defect that maybe no one knows about, because from the ground, 40 feet away, it looks okay. In comparison to the cost, $396, that's a great decision. You hired the right inspector. Now look at me, right? I'm not even done. And I've created incredible, overwhelming value for my clients. See, this is all part of the marketing. Don't just think you're going to be successful because you've looked at the standards of practice, and you can do that. It's all about business and marketing. And InterNACHI's business and marketing course is a fantastic free online course provided by the only accredited home inspector college, InterNACHI.edu. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere for coaching, mentoring, marketing, business, nothing. If they're talking about we get together and have conversations about business, go to somewhere that is tried and true, has been around for several decades, and is coming from an accredited college. You'll get everything you need through InterNACHI. Talk about things that go through a roof. Look at this job. This is a roof vent. Don't stick your hand in there. There's often bees right there. So somebody put a roof fan. It's probably a bathroom. Knowing where it's oriented next to this dormer, it's probably a bathroom fan. And they put it in there. And boy, that's just an awful thing. This is temporary. Asphalt sealant is like a Band-Aid. It's going to crack. and then it's going to leak, right? You need metal flashing. There it is from beneath. It's clean. It's brand new. There's a vent pipe, drain waste vent pipe, 4-inch cast iron with flashing below. This is just cosmetic. Can't even see it from the ground, so it doesn't matter. I can see it. This is just some corrosion of the cast iron vent pipe that lost maybe, and maybe it was never painted. Here's that chimney with the terrible flashing. This is open flashing. You can see moss growing right here because water and debris like leaves that turn into dirt and organic material settle here in this open gap of the flashing. This is counter flashing that wasn't installed properly because the top of the counter flashing should be grooved into the mortar joint and it wasn't. There's so much great stuff going on here. This is so much fun as a home inspector to find this stuff. And then you get your measuring tape and you measure the width of the chimney, masonry chimney stack. If it's 30 inches or bigger, you need a cricket. That's what we got. How do you get to know all this stuff? You need to be trained. Great way to get trained through InterNACHI's with our illustrations and pictures. We have pictures of everything. This is a cricket. This is what's missing at that chimney stack. And it's because it's over 30 inches. You need something. You know, when you get a really big, wide chimney stack, it's going to puddle up on the uphill slope side here with water. So you need to put in a little roof, essentially, to divert water around the very wide chimney stack. So we have a chimney course through our online accredited college. And within the course of how to inspect fireplaces, stoves, and chimneys, there's a cricket section. If the chimney has a dimensional parallel, if the chimney has a dimension parallel to the ridgeline, greater than 30 inches and doesn't intersect the ridgeline, a chimney cricket must be provided. Flashing and counter flashing must be installed at the intersection of the cricket and the chimney. The height of the cricket depends on the slope of the roof. The lower the slope, the shorter the cricket height. That's really cool. And bam, there's a good picture. And this brick here actually pushed it back on the roof. This was just like that at that angle. So it was about to fall. If it falls, it's going to put a hole probably through the asphalt shingles. This is a lot of fun for a home inspector. A lot of fun for me to inspect this stuff. And when I come down off my ladder, I'm not even I'm not frowning. I'm not getting my clients all flustered about a major problem. All I'm doing as a home inspector is telling the story. I'm telling the story, assuming that my client has found their dream home and they're going to move in no matter what I say. So I'm going to tell them the actual condition of the chimney. I'm going to describe the chimney condition. I'm going to tell them the implications of not fixing what I observed as problems. And I'm going to tell them who should fix it, like a chimney expert, chimney suite. We need a mason. They're going to probably want to tear a lot down and build it all up. It's going to be a while to fix this. Can't fix it with black tar sealant. And even if the chimney is not used, they're going to abandon the chimney. It has to be fixed because it's falling apart. And pieces of heavy masonry are falling on the roof. Here's a newer chimney stack that they installed, or maybe it was an older one and they rebuilt it, right? And I'm not even sure because I haven't been in the home yet. I'm early, I'm on the roof, and I'm just trying to figure out what's coming through the roof system. And this chimney stack is penetrating the roof, and I see two flues. One looks like a fireplace because it has a fire screen around it, and this one could be for the heating system, and that's probably what's going on. And it looks in great shape. The cap looks good. I like to see a little drip overhang, but that's okay. The flashing is tight. This is the proper way to install flashing. The flashing is bent into the brick mortar joint. It's sealed just for added protection, but you can eliminate that if you wanted to because it's masonry and metal intersecting with the asphalt shingle roof. This is really tight. This is really great. Kind of strange. The counter flashing should have been on top of this one. So that's okay. So this flashing, I think they just added more to it or something. I'm not sure, but it looks great. I'm pretty happy with it. I can take a shot with my camera down the flue. As a home inspector, I'm not required to inspect the interior flue liner, which is what this is. But if it's open and I got my camera, I'm going to take a picture. If I see a hole, if I see, if I observe indications of a defect of the interior flue liner with my eyes or camera, I'm going to tell my client. Just because I'm following the standards of practice doesn't mean I have to make it a limitation. I'm permitted to exceed the standards of practice because the standards of practice is a minimum. In fact, my clients probably expect me to exceed the standards of practice. For example, the home inspection standards of practice doesn't have the word flashlight in it. So if you use a flashlight as a home inspector, you're exceeding the standards of practice. Okay. While I'm on a roof of the house, I take a look at the other structures on the property, and there's the garage. And that garage roof looks in really good shape. There are other things that I look at while I'm on the ladder coming down from the roof, the top roof, and I see we probably don't have central air conditioning. We have window units. There's the electrical line, overhead service electrical conductors, drip loop, the connection point, service entrance cable. Coming down, there's the chimney stack, detail. There's my ladder. And there's another roof, a smaller roof on a side. I'm sorry, the front porch, I believe, is the front porch. I see flashing. Anywhere where the roof intersects anything else, I want to see metal flashing or good flashing of a material that's approved. So it looks good. Windows, I'm not required to inspect every window because it's impossible. I'm required to inspect a representative number of windows, especially from the outside. I can't be moving my ladder around the entire house and looking at every window from the outside, right? But while I'm inside in the bedroom, I'll probably take a look at the windows or a representative number. Here's a side roof. This is above the kitchen. I don't know that yet, but here's the two skylights. Wherever the roof plane, field, surface intersects with the house, I want flashing. This is great, metal flashing, but oh, the gutter is filling up with debris and spilling over. But this is, look at all the black tar. That's a temporary patchwork kind of workmanship. And the flashing here is a little loose. The roof isn't really sloped a lot. I can measure the slope of the roof, but right here feels like it's a little. So I'm going to take a look at these skylights from inside, see how well they're performing. Skylights are notorious leakers. They love to leak water. In fact, I tell my clients, even if the roof is in great shape, right after I leave, the next rain, it could leak. Home inspectors can't predict failures or things that are going to break. Home inspection is not a guarantee or a warranty of any kind. We can't predict future events like roof leaks. Every roof, if left go, is going to leak all by itself. And I don't know when. Nobody does. But I can see problems that might need to be fixed in order to prevent that from happening. And here's one here. This flashing was installed maybe into the groove of the mortar joint, but man, it was just gooped up with a lot of mortar. And then the fasteners, the masonry fasteners, it probably just threw in some masonry nails there. I'm not sure what's going on here, but it's unreliable, I would say. I know that because InterNACHI has a gallery of inspection images on how to properly install flashing, where the roof meets a wall. And that's not it. It's more like this, like we saw around the chimney stack. Remember? That was done really well. And that's not done really well. So I'm going to tell my client just to keep an eye on things. I use the word monitor that area. Here's another
The roof covering over the garage appears to be newer and functional.
There you go. Short and sweet. So the shingles on the garage look pretty good. The gutter is in terrible shape. Piece of plastic just bent over, falling apart, clogged, not really secured well with these plastic things. And there's a lot of adult trees with a lot of debris falling into the gutter. They're not cleaned. And it looks like the flashing fascia board needs to be maintained a little bit. So now I'm on the exterior. I'm on the exterior of the home. And the first thing I think of is, remember time management? Well, how about water management? Home inspectors have to be really good at managing their time. Homeowners need to manage water. Water provides life, but man, water can destroy. So you manage the water. You think of how rain hits the structure. How do you collect it, divert it? So here's rainwater hitting the roof, right? And then it falls off of the roof. Is there a flashing, a drip hedge, a gutter system to collect the water, downspouts to bring the water down to the ground? But what about rainwater hitting the windows? There should be flashing here, or at the deck that's attached to the house, or at a light fixture, some flashing areas there, or at a door, or at the bottom of the door. Is the bottom of the door above the ground? What happens to runoff? It should be sloped away. Or maybe if it goes through, is there some drainage for the foundation? So I think about rain a lot when I do the exterior. And as I walk around, I'm thinking about how is the rainwater coming down this downspout being diverted away from the house? It's not. This downspout is disconnected. Let's say it was connected. It's still discharging tens of dozens of gallons of water, hundreds of gallons of water right next to the house foundation, this house foundation right here, porch foundation. So we want to divert water away from the house as much as possible. Right here is another downspout, goes underground. I don't know where it's going. I'm not responsible for underground drainage pipes. I'm going to look for erosion around here as if the underground drainage pipe is possibly clogged. I don't see anything, but I want my client to know that we're going underground. Old home, probably a street nearby. Could go to the street. But boy, if there are any roots, you may want to scope it or just cut it off here, let it discharge to the ground, and then slope that away, divert that water away. You want to get water away from the house foundation. If it's a hard surface, you want this hard surface slightly sloped away from the house foundation. You want to get things out of here. This dense vegetation is just holding a lot of water and moisture up against this brick wall. Masonry, exposed masonry like this, can absorb moisture and wick it. And moisture can wick up all the way through this, all the way through into the interior and all the way up to the roof. Here's some underground drainage pipes. It's funny that there's two right next to each other. I don't know why they wouldn't connect it, but they're going underground somewhere. Where do they go? Maybe the homeowner knows. Here's the rear porch. I want to go underneath the rear porch, but this lattice structure is a restriction. There are inspection restrictions. I can't see everything, but what I can see, I'm going to inspect. So wood, untreated wood, it's painted, but it's untreated wood in contact with the ground is not a good idea. I don't want to have any trip hazards here. I want a nice railing here. And the end of this doubled 2x8, 2x10 beam underneath the porch deck, it's exposed. It's really shouldn't be. It's prone to wood rot if it's not pressure treated. It really should be protected, and I want to make sure it's settled on this concrete block here, pillar, which looks like a homeowner did, right? I can tell that they used the wrong types of block here. So at least they have it repaired. Maybe this was an old post here. I'm not sure what happened in the past. What I'm trying to do is look for problems, defects, describe what I see to my client, determine if it's a problem or not, give them an idea of the implication of not fixing a problem, and then who could fix it? Maybe a handyman or a contractor or something. So far so good. A crack in the step there, some exposed things, and then this here, just I don't see any wood rot, but I want my client to know that just keep an eye on this over the years. And I'm not sure what the homeowner had in mind, but it looks like they were going to do something and some unfinished. The workmanship is kind of poor here. And this is a picture through the lattice because I can't see. I can't crawl there, but I'd like to get underneath, but I can't. So the floor joists, the ledger board, looks in good shape, actually. Not bad. They even have cross bracing and a railing. And there's the porch guard, actually. So that's a handrail right there I'm grabbing. And this is a guard. They're not the same thing, different. The roof structure of this porch in the back has been repaired in the past. You can see this large 4x4 beam, but only some of the roof beams are supported. Maybe something was rotten here and they removed it, replaced it with something. Something was painted white and the other one wasn't. There's been some repairs. I just want to have my client who's walking around with me see what I see, and then we'll put it in the report as something to just monitor or maybe ask questions, because you can see some things have been replaced, and the fastening here isn't really proper. I'm not sure why they would put it there, and it's kind of missing the beam here. So I think a homeowner probably did this work. There's a guard here, and you should know some basic measurements about guards. And with InterNACHI, you get these awesome illustrations that you can learn from, and also in our courses. And also you can download these illustrations to help boost the information, the valuable information in your inspection reports. So as an InterNACHI member, you have access to all these illustrations, thousands of illustrations like this. You pick and choose what makes sense to you. And we want a railing to be a certain height. And we don't want things to fall through the guards like a small child. So this is code, actually, right? This is something within the International Residential Code or building code or local building code. This has to be a certain height. Can't have more than 4 inches of space in between the spindles, 6 inches here. The space in between the guardrail posts, minimum of 30 inches. If you have a deck that's lower than that, you don't need a guard. If you have something that's higher than that, you need a guard. And that's all code. But again, home inspectors are not code inspectors. But all of InterNACHI's courses are based upon building standards, best practices, inspection processes, and code. So you are essentially learning building code when you become an InterNACHI certified home inspector, because you want to know certain things, right? You don't need to put this in the report, and you certainly don't want to start quoting code, but you want to know if this railing, if this guard, I do it all the time, if this guard is high enough or is it too low? Maybe it was built to code back then, 50 years ago. Maybe. But if it's unsafe right now, I'm putting it in the report as my home inspector, as a home inspector. Just like the vent on the roof, here's a vent coming out of the brick wall, extended out too far at an angle. Kind of strange. It's probably a dryer vent. Below the dryer vent, I see a cast iron pipe. I don't have to know what's going on. I just want to bring this up, maybe as a question for the homeowner to explain what this is. This is an odd thing to see a gas line coming out of the house and going directly buried into concrete, a concrete pad. That's not right. Here's a water valve. Probably should get the dense vegetation away from it so you can use it and monitor its condition. And there's the dryer vent, and all this lint in here is clogged up. It needs to be cleaned out. You don't want a clogged dryer vent, and I don't know what that is. This is a water meter. So we'll see the water meter on the inside, and hose bibs. I'm not sure why they call them bibs. They're hose faucets or spigots on the outside of the house, and they should be frost free so they don't freeze in the wintertime. The house is made out of brick masonry. It's in really great shape. The windows are wooden windows. Some of them are capped with aluminum. That's great. This is a terrible picture of a radon mitigation system. There's a radon fan, exhaust pipe, and I'm not a home. I'm not. I wasn't hired to do a radon test at this home, but I'm a home inspector, and I know that this radon system has to meet modern code in order for it to be safe and functioning well. And we have a home inspection checklist just for radon systems. So if you're a home inspector and you come across a radon mitigation system and you want to tell your client whether it's whether you think it's in good shape or not, or it has signs that it was built long time ago according to standards back then, 15 years ago, but we've learned better now, and so we've updated the standards, and now maybe the fan orientation is all wrong, or it's not draining properly, or it's not fastened properly, or it's not exhausting high enough, or something like that. It's not meeting modern standards. That's really good information that you could provide as a home inspector who's not there to do a radon test, but you come across a radon mitigation system. So this is at InterNACHI's public page for radon checklists. Anybody can download it. You can download it, get the international standards for performing a radon mitigation system inspection. You can take the course on how to perform radon measurements if you like, but the checklist, I would download it and then upload it into my inspection software so that I would have this checklist as a home inspector. And if I come across a radon system, I look at the standards. If there's anything wrong, I tell my client. Really great resource. Inspection checklists are free and online from InterNACHI. So as we continue, taking a look at the exterior, love brick exterior or masonry exterior. Looking for anything that doesn't look right. So just some maintenance issues, really. Like this front porch post. A little water damage, some paint there. It's cracking in a way where I'm a EPA certified lead hazard risk assessor. The paint is cracking as if it has lead content in it. So if I want to tell my client that information, that's valuable information, especially if they have children. Lead paint is not good for little kids. So some paint there, some just minor maintenance. The little trim is missing, and I think that's a little hole there for a squirrel. And there's natural gas supplied to the house. Remember that gas pipe coming out of the house? I think it's going somewhere. Not sure where. Here's the gas line coming in. There's a valve there, pressure regulator. I wouldn't worry about the minor rust, and then it goes in. And there's the gas shutoff valve. As a home inspector, you have to identify the location of the gas shutoff valve. And there's the front light post there, but it's not hooked up and it has wires just loosely there. And that's my voltage tester just to make sure I'm not touching a live wire. That would be hazardous. Sidewalks, they're all cracked and unsettled and a bit of a trip hazard here and there, even the public walk. This large tree, which is on my client's property, is probably lifting up this walk here. They now have a tool that can just shave this down, so it's no longer a trip hazard. They don't have to lift or tear out anything. They just shave it down. So trip hazards on the walk. There's a playground system there, which I disclaim. I don't inspect playground systems. Although if there's something wrong that I can just see, like, oh, okay, that is leaning over or it's going to fall apart or something like that, I'll make that information available. But I'm not trained in playground equipment. No home inspector is. Okay. There's the detached garage made out of masonry, concrete masonry units, blocks. I could see some weathered paint here and there. Remember, the roof is in good shape, but the gutters are not. It's very flat around here. Probably a lot of water splashing, but it's a detached garage. Weathered door like crazy. Looks like they put in some new locks. That's nice. Ah, gas pipe and a water pipe and an electric line. So it has everything, this detached garage. But I bet it's not to code at all. And it's not to really good building practices or standards, right? Not sure what this material is and why it's corroding. Is it two dissimilar metals? Is this iron and copper? What is this pipe? Like now it's a very large diameter pipe going into a smaller pipe, and then it's going, looks like, I don't think a master plumber did this, right? I don't even know if this is legal. Just putting a pipe underground, cast iron pipe, black iron pipe, gas, going to the garage. I think the utility company would probably want to know about that, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to tell my client to ask the homeowner for more information. And this wire looks okay for underground feeder wire outdoor, but like, maybe wrap it in something, a conduit to protect it. Remember that pipe? Yeah, I think it's connected to that one. The hard surfaces are, um, well, the concrete is now gravel. They did a great job making concrete into gravel. A lot of cracks. The gate doesn't work. There's only so much that you can say about delayed maintenance and poor installation. Remember, as a home inspector, there's nothing I can say that can kill a deal. My clients have spent months getting to this point where they have found their dream home in the right neighborhood, in the right school district, with the right agent. They found the right bank and the right appraisal. They made an offer. It was accepted. They got an inspection agreement, contingency, and now I'm there just to tell them more information, hopefully overwhelmingly valuable information to a person who has fallen in love with this house. And there's nothing I can say really to change their mind. So we're going to talk about delayed maintenance, but I think there are already some issues, especially the chimney stack, that comes to mind. That's much more important. This is wood rot. It takes a while to fix. It's all rotten. Can't paint over it anymore, really. So it has to be torn down and replaced. Just some maintenance, delayed maintenance at the garage door. But the concrete block structure itself is in good shape. It's just all this terrible particle board that was used and not, it's a bad, bad choice of exterior materials. And like the cap is missing on the gutter. I think I'm going to not really, I'm going to downplay these things, right? And really try to focus on what's really important. They're really important things in a home inspection. I'm going to focus on that. As a home inspector, once you're starting to do a lot of inspections, you get used to things on how to communicate your observations. You start to you're able to make your comments mean something to your clients. If you have 100 things to say, but only 4 or 5 of them are really important, that's what you're going to focus on. You're not going to make a missing plastic end cap on a junky plastic gutter equivalently important as that chimney stack, right? This is very minor in comparison to that masonry problem that they have with the chimney. Okay, inside, I can't see everything. Like, look at all the inspection restrictions. I'm going to do my best. I don't know. There could be termite damage in here. It's all concrete, but there could be settlement cracks. I don't know. I'm going to just do my best to look around. Remember, it's just a visual only inspection. I'm going to open and close the garage door opener, but it's plugged into an extension cord. That's not all that great. And I'm not actually confident that it's been installed by a professional. But I'll hit the door opener using normal operating controls. It will open and close. It's got some wood rod here. Obviously, we saw that on the outside. Has no safety laser eyes, beams. There's about 10 things to inspect when you're inspecting a garage door opener. Yeah. And if you go to anynachi.org page, I'm going to show you where to find that inspection checklist for inspecting a garage door opener. Ready? Go to nachi.org, get started, go to training and education. This is our training page where all of our courses are listed. Use the filter and type in garage. And it's the how to perform a garage inspection course. If you pop in there, there it is. Garage door inspection checklist. And there are 10 things to do when you're inspecting a automatic garage door opener. And I would just put that in my inspection software and carry it with me on my phone, right? My software will be with me on my phone. So I look really smart. I'll have everything that I need right in my hand in order to inspect a garage door opener. That's pretty cool, right? So InterNACHI resources, free and online for InterNACHI members. A lot of inspection restrictions. I'm really looking for like maybe some electrical things, right? Where's that gas line go? No idea. Where's the water line go? No idea. Hidden somewhere. There's a loose box there, electrical box. The structure looks good. There's no GFCI protection. No GFCI protection. There's a missing box here. There's just a bunch of live wires hanging out. And we've got this problem. Fuses. Fuses are antiquated. It should be replaced. This should be replaced by a master electrician should replace this with a breaker panel. Sorry, a breaker, a sub panel. Little breakers. Maybe you probably need a few circuits that's coming from the main panel on the inside of the house properly. It's grounded, bonded properly with a sub panel that's properly wired by a master electrician, not this. Okay. You want to be safe. It has to be functioning. We want all of our homes, all of our systems and components to be functioning well and safe. And we also want our home to be healthy as well. So healthy means like it's dry, doesn't have lead hazard paint, remember? Heating and cooling is next, okay? So it's been 1 hour in the webinar, which is great. I think we're on time. We're managing our time well. We're going to heating and cooling. Let's take a look at some of the questions or the chats. Let's see. Andrew says, what do you do if the seller wants to follow you through the inspection when your client is the buyer? Okay, my client is usually the buyer, and I want my buyer with me, following me while I inspect, asking me all kinds of stuff, because as a business owner, I'm trying to manage my time. I don't want to answer questions at night, right? So I want to answer all the questions while we're here, attend to every concern and question while we're together in their home. So I can tell the story of their home to them face to face. My client usually isn't the seller. The seller usually gets notified by the agents that someone is coming to do a home inspection, and then they get out. They're asked to leave. If they don't leave, that's very rare. Like 1 out of 100 inspections have happened where the seller just wanted to sit in the kitchen. Well, that's not the way to sell a house, right? So sellers should leave, and agents can help their clients sell their house well. There's a few things that InterNACHI recommends to sellers: commercial property inspection, commercial property sellers, residential property inspector, sellers, sellers of homes and buildings. One of them is get out. Just let your client walk around in peace with their inspector and talk openly about their dream home. Everything's going to go well. If there's a problem, there's going to be a problem, whether you're sitting in the kitchen or not. Let's see. Keith, about shirts or polos. I like t-shirts. Polos are fine too. I actually just wore Oh, what are they called? They're all buttons. Oh, I like buttons. I like to be more formal. So in wintertime, long sleeve, button shirt, blue with collar, branded, right? And then in the wintertime, sorry, in the summertime, I'm sweating. So I wear white. So if I sweat, doesn't look bad. Short sleeve, button, collar, tucked in shirts. Now, I'm not in Florida. I hear in Florida, they wear shorts. I don't know. I guess you can wear shorts. I wouldn't wear sandals to a home inspection. I don't care how hot it is, but I would just, dress up. You want to dress up like, you know, you have earned the money that you're asking for. Um, Michael says, Inspector Website Builder builds a great site. Thank you. Andrew, what do you guys do if a seller wants to follow you through the whole inspection? Oh, did we just yeah, Andrew Woods. Yep, same question. Hey all, it's my new advisor. What reporting software do you recommend that's affordable and provides auto narratives? So for software, can I give you some advice? I don't care what you buy, but to start off, if you're brand new and you just want to try something, InterNACHI has a free online home inspection checklist for writing inspection reports. So you could just try it out. So you type in this runs on laptops better than devices. Devices is a little clunky, but you just, have no defects on the roof. You can upload, let's see, here's vents flashing skylights. So I have a major defect, the flashing between the kitchen roof and the house wall is in poor condition, and then browse, and you want to add some pictures, right, of that. So let's just add a couple pictures here. Just upload them in the report, boom, 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 and there's your photos. And then you print it out, right? So it's kind of like a checklist that's really for people learning how to write an inspection report. I wouldn't use it for any clients. But if you wanted software for your clients, I would go to this URL, nachi.org/everything. nachi.org/everything. You have to type that URL, nachi.org/everything. And to get software, that's step number 3. You click it and you get to a link that provides software, right? So it's right there, inspection report writing software. Get special pricing exclusive to InterNACHI members, and you click that link. Santa messed up the chimney. Yeah, that guy needs to stop doing what he's doing. Could you talk a little bit about conflict of interest when providing home inspections and other services to the client? Is providing repair services for material defects observed really only the conflict of interest? No. So there's a code of ethics that prevents a home inspector from offering to repair stuff that you inspected in the home that you just inspected, unless a year has passed, 12 months. So what you want to do is not screw up that. You want to support the idea that home inspectors are third-party, neutral professionals that can be trusted. You do not want to pull up in a truck with windows in the back, right? You don't want to pull up as a home inspector with windows in your pickup truck. And then your report just happens to find a lot of problems with windows. Come on. That's just shooting yourself in the foot, right? You could take 2 steps forward and 1 step back, or 1 step forward and 2 steps back. You want to be separated from any criticism or appearance of impropriety or biasness. You want to be that local professional inspector that every neighbor knows can be trusted to give them that good advice that they need before they hire that contractor. If a roofing contractor goes to your neighbor's house tomorrow and says to your neighbor, who's your friend, they have to replace the whole roof, and it's going to be $20,000. And your neighbor comes to you, goes, "Hey, you think this is right?" They'll do that because you're not trying this thing where you're saying, "Oh, can I find problems and fix them?" No, no. You want those two things separate with a million miles in between. You want to be the obvious choice for a trusted opinion, especially if you're hired to oversee a contractor's work. You want to give that honest, unbiased opinion. You want to be that third-party, neutral, professional inspector who can be trusted because you don't have any disclosed or undisclosed conflict of interest or bias. You don't care if they repair anything that you find wrong. You don't care. I don't care. As a home inspector, I don't care if anything gets repaired. Well, I actually do, but see my point. I mean, I want my neighbor. I'm doing home inspections essentially in my market area, which is within driving distance. I want my neighbor. All my clients are neighbors. That's how I see myself because we all live near each other. We all live in the same town or towns, essentially, right? Same zip codes. So I'm inspecting for my neighbors. Why would I do anything other than provide them with information that they can trust without any appearance of impropriety? Without any hesitation, somebody can call me up and ask me for their honest opinion. Can you give me your honest opinion? Yeah, because I have no bias. I'm not a contractor. I don't have any relationship or connection to anyone that is interested in repairing the things that are defective in my inspection report. I could care less. Okay, that's my recommendation. As just a licensed home inspector in Oklahoma, Nathan says, and not InterNACHI certified quite yet. That's all right. What types of inspection services can I offer now? Buyers, sellers, re-inspections. Yeah, so you want to get fully informed about what your state regulates. And so you want to go to, there's a page within every InterNACHI dashboard, but let's see if, yeah, I can just go, let's see, it's here. So we have all the states and provinces and countries. So if you're in Pakistan right now and you want to know what it's required of you to become a certified home inspector and what services you can provide before you get a license, click that button. So in Oklahoma, Oklahoma, there it is. Here's information about how to become a certified home inspector in Oklahoma, right? And it looks like you have to take a 90-hour pre-licensing course approved by the Oklahoma Construction Industries Board. And InterNACHI's 90-hour pre-licensing course is online and free for InterNACHI members. So you said you're not a member yet? I would join InterNACHI and take the 90-hour online pre-licensing course, which is free for members, and get licensed. And then take our resources to take the state exam. And then licensed home inspectors are required to get insurance, and we have insurance for you. And it just goes on and on and on. Okay. Once you become InterNACHI certified, you join InterNACHI to get all the resources to become certified. And once you become certified, oh, there's so many other resources available to you. Like the InterNACHI marketing team kicks in. They're just waiting for you to do some kind of marketing. Once you become a certified home inspector, we assume once you become certified, you want to start marketing that you're the best home inspector, certified home inspector. So our marketing team, 7 highly professional business consultants, mentors, designers, illustrators, they're waiting for you, and they're going to help you with your marketing. So there's so many reasons. Just go to nachi.org/benefits nachi.org/benefits. And I think we listed the reasons to join InterNACHI and become certified. Can I use your InterNACHI checklist for my mock inspections towards my CPI? Absolutely. So to become certified home inspector through InterNACHI, we require you to write 4 reports. Pretend inspection reports. And you can use our checklist software. So it's free. We don't charge for that, right? But we encourage you to get your own software out there. Art in Florida. Hey, Arthur, just applied for my license today. What would be a good credit card reader to get? Oh, I'll let other inspectors comment on that. Or you can email me, ben@internachi.org. Jeffrey says, go with Guardian inspection payments, my opinion. All right. Thanks, Jeffrey. Oh, Mike says Guardian. Awesome. See, did a good thing. Let other inspectors. Did a 120-hour through AHIT. I'm a member of NACHI. Fantastic. Okay. What are other things? How about those are the chats? What about a client of fast recommendations for contractors? I just don't have it. I just don't. Let the agent do that. What is the URL for the practice reports? You got it. So you want to go to nachi.org, click Get Started, scroll down to Become a Home Inspector. I think that's the best way. This is a long way to get there. I wonder if there's a faster way. Because if you're an InterNACHI inspector and you have a dashboard, you can just get to it. How about this? How about if I just give you the URL? nachi.org/CPI-requirements. Ready? nachi.org. There it is there. nachi.org/CPI-requirements. Okay? nachi.org/CPI-requirements. You scroll down and it's step number 5 is the checklist. Or just email me or anybody on the contact page. And we're all here on Contact Us, right? You can meet the staff. We're all there. We're all there to help you succeed. So just email anybody or me directly, ben@internachi.org, and we'll help you, okay? You have about 30 people who work full-time at InterNACHI helping you succeed. So take advantage of 30 people who work for you. If you need anything in your business, you have 30 people who work for you. See? Yeah. Cool. All right. Business structure. Yeah, LLC. A lot of people structure their business, home inspection business, as an LLC, but get a business attorney and a CPA to help you out. A local business attorney. Heating and cooling. Okay, I think we've got 40 minutes left, so let's kind of go through this system and get to the inspection report and the summary and wrap this up. Okay. Remember this is a natural draft. They don't make these anymore. Natural draft gas-fired furnace. It's really cool. So cold air returns here through an air filter. Oh, it's kind of a odd air filtering. So here's the gas line, shut-off valve. Oh, no drip leg. Pilot light. Natural draft goes in here. Combustion air goes in here. Natural draft goes in here, and the vent pipe up through the chimney. So there's the burners there. Natural draft shut-off switch for service. Gas shut off. It doesn't have a sediment trap. This is a defect. Is it a code violation? I don't know. I'm a home inspector, but I am going to refer to code if I need to clarify something with a contractor. But I'm not going to put code in my inspection report. What I'm going to say is something like this. So if you go to 2024 International Residential Code, IRC, they make a IRC, International Code Council. It's fantastic because they put their code online, open to the public. You can read it yourself. And here's what a sediment trap looks like. It's supposed to come down into a T and then, have a trap here to trap some sediment. That's why they call it sediment. And that's not what we have here. We're missing that. And if you wanted to see it illustrated, to put an illustration that's doesn't have copyright, because that's International Code Council's illustration, you can use this as an illustration for your inspection reports. Take the door cover off of the blower. There's the blower fan there to get to the air filter. There's two air filters. It's very strange. It filters here and it filters there. They don't make them anymore like this. Thank goodness. Some close-up shots. They're all blurry. Sorry about that. There's the vent pipe going up to the chimney stack, entering the chimney stack there. Take a picture of the model number and the manufacturing number and the service. If the system hasn't been serviced and cleaned within the past year, 12 months, I put that as a recommendation. There was maybe a humidifier installed here. I don't know, but there's the control. And then there's the old style humidifier here. That is an old one. Water supply line. It drains a lot of water and it goes into, in this system, into a condensate pump. Drains in here and it pumps out. Hopefully it discharges outside, but we'll take a look at that. Plumbing section is next in the home inspection standards of practice. There's the main water coming into the house. I think of water coming in and then drain going out through a shutoff valve. You have to identify where the shutoff valve is. I put my hand on every pipe fitting if I can, or valve. And if it's wet to the touch, then we have a problem with the water leak. There's a water meter there. And there's a shutoff valve there. Expansion tank is installed. That's kind of nice. And then newer pipes. I remember seeing cast iron on the roof, and now this is PVC. So some work was done with the plumbing, the drain waste vent pipe, at least in the basement that I see. So that's nice. Kind of, I can trust that. But the other things, like the cast iron pipes and all this copper stuff that's behind the walls that I can't get to, I don't know what's going on here. Was this where the laundry was? What is this? Why is this restricted here? Why is there a trap here? Where's the vent? I don't know what's going on here. So some old plumbing. Here's the clothes washer discharge. It is clamped to a 1/2-inch diameter. I thought it was supply. I thought it was a supply line. It's a drain line. That's not going to work for various reasons. Here's another one where that condensate pump discharges into this is duct taped and electrical taped into the drain pipe. So here it is here. We've got the clothes washer here discharging and the condensate pump discharging here. And this is just all messed up. It's no good for a bunch of reasons. Water heating equipment. Water heating equipment, or water heater, is any appliance that heats potable water and supplies it to the potable hot water distribution system of the building. And I like to refer to code. In 2021, IRC chapter 28 talks all about water heating equipment. And it's really cool because like there are 14 code requirements just for the TPR discharge pipe. 14 code requirements, standard, that it has to meet in order to be safe. 14 things just for the discharge pipe. Wow, that's pretty cool on a hot water tank. So code is really helpful. Oh, and by the way, if you take the InterNACHI free online plumbing course, you learn about that. There's the picture. I try to take a legible picture of the hot water tank manufacturing label. There's the cold water coming in through a shutoff valve. Gas supply shutoff valve. It's an old one, so I use my sniffer, gas sniffer. There's the temperature pressure relief on the hot water tank and the discharge pipe to the floor. That's great, but it's a dripper. So this is dripping. Not all pipes that drip are bad, but this one is. If your TPR valve, temperature pressure relief valve, is dripping water, it's relieving itself of temperature or pressure or both. And that's an indication of a problem. It's not that bad of a problem right now, but maybe it discharges tonight all over the floor, or maybe it doesn't. And it has excessive pressure built up inside the tank. Boom. So any TPR valve that is leaking on the floor, that's a defect. So when I find this stuff, I just say, here is a problem, you know, and it has to be fixed. It has to be fixed by the seller or by you when you move in. I'm addressing my client. I'm just telling the story. I'm not telling a horror movie story. I'm telling the story of the house. And the house has some opportunities for fixing things. I hate it when this is a flue connection pipe. I hate it when somebody puts a hole in a flue connection pipe. This is like a strap that's holding up something. I guess it's holding up this pipe, but really, like when you put a hole in and you don't seal it like that, like the seams are supposed to be sealed. This is supposed to be airtight. If this comes out, let's just say this comes out. Now you've got a hole in a flue pipe. Ever see a hole in a flue pipe on your car? Do you like smelling that? Think you can breathe that? No, this ain't that big. It's not as big as a car exhaust pipe, but it's still the same idea. You don't want, what you want is everything sealed and tight on a flue pipe coming out of a gas-fired heating system. Basement foundation, crawl space, and structure, that's part of the standards of practice. There's the basement there, it's masonry, probably stone, brick, or something like that. I'm just looking for water penetration. Looks like this is really cool. They left the brick part of I believe this is stone and this is going to be brick, and they left the brick part exposed so that you could see the original structure. I thought that was kind of cool. Here's the radon fan. So the radon system, there's the gauge, right? And remember the radon fan on the outside? You can inspect these components of the radon mitigation system using InterNACHI's checklist for your client. There's a bathroom down there. Doesn't look very good. Looks like it's had a lot of problems, even like mold or something. There's the steps. There's really old paint, really old steps. Tell by the wood that's being used. You want to look for termite infestation. Termites just love this area right here. Old floor joists, newer wiring. That's nice. Some newer fixtures, some disconnected plumbing pipes. That's a little concern. Where's the support for all these plumbing pipes? This is a cast iron pipe. This is a copper pipe. What kind of fitting is that? Where there's a drain of only, what is that, 3/4 of an inch into a, what is draining here? What would be draining into this from the kitchen, bathroom, something? Not sure. It's kind of an odd thing to see. A lot of wiring hanging out all over the place. But I'm looking at the structure, the floor structure, making sure there aren't any like bored holes in the middle third of a span. A lot of strange electrical wiring. Now, newer wiring, right? Great. This is great. But what is all this? And this is an extension cord going somewhere, plugging into something, the refrigerator or dishwasher or something. I don't know. Lots of extension cords, plugs, a lot of things hanging, a lot of things loose. I would say I would use the term poor workmanship and then define what that means, not professionally done. Therefore, it may not be 100% reliable. Ask for permits for work like this, or ask who installed, like what is supporting this pipe here? I don't understand. What is that, a support pipe support? It's oddly, I think it just fell off actually, because it's supposed to look like this. What's all this lint doing here? Was a dryer down here, directed down here? So it's really neat to just use your observation and figure out what is going on and try to find the problem, the heart of the problem. And a lot of it on an old home is that there have been a lot of homeowners who have done their own handiwork. Doesn't happen that often with a newer home, but on an older home, this becomes a lot of fun. Just trying to figure all this out within a limited amount of time that a home inspection is afforded. Electrical. On the outside, when we were doing the electrical exterior inspection, we saw the electrical line. Remember that? When I was coming down my ladder, we saw that. Here's the electric service line, service entrance cable into the meter, and then the service entrance cable into the panel downstairs, and it goes into the panel downstairs through that hole there. This should be sealed well, and some older mortar joints. That's all right. And there's the panel. And there's a restriction to the panel. Accessing the panel should be open. There should be a few feet in front of it, a few feet on the left and right. The code says 30 inches, 36 inches, and certain height. But really, you want to, in the middle of the night, if you need to turn off the electricity in an emergency, this is going to get in the way. So really, just for safety, it's a really nice work table, but it's in the wrong place. Can't be in front of an electrical panel. And all these loosely hanging electrical wires that are connected to junction boxes are just hazardous. You can't have live wires just hanging all over the place. So it's 100 amps. That's what the one finger means. So it's really maxed out. I'm not surprised that we don't have central air. It's probably not enough. If you're going to put in central air, you're going to have to get probably 200 amps, 150, 200 amps to the panel, upgrade the panel, all kinds of different kind of wiring going on here. Same here. Nothing's labeled. You're not required to remove the dead front cover, but I like to because I saw this. This is a scorched component of a breaker. I'm not sure what's going on, but I see that this is a 20 amp breaker on a 14 gauge wire. Here's a 20 amp breaker on a 14 gauge wire. So we have fat breakers, big fat breakers on small gauge wires. That's an overfusing and too big of a breaker. So we've got problems inside the electrical panel. And there's another one here. I think the basement was redone, no permit. They threw in some breakers, threw in big 20 amp breakers on 14 gauge wires all over the place. Terrible. It's out of focus, these pictures, but my report is going to be very clearly written. Fireplace. We have that fireplace that's in very poor shape. I don't think they use it as a fireplace anymore because on the inside, damper opens and closes. They have silicone, right, on the brick of the inside. So that's not all that great. So I'm going to make sure that no one is using this fireplace until all of this has been further evaluated by a certified chimney sweep. Attic. There's the attic space, very small attic space. Looking at the roof structure, looks okay. But when you look around, you get to see other components like that wiring, all that spaghetti wiring. They're just thrown up there, very loosely thrown all around. Poor workmanship. There's a newer fan. Remember that vent on the roof that wasn't flashed properly? This is probably a homeowner job here. A lot of pipe fittings just to get it at the right angle to go up the roof. So I don't think that's a professional doing that. And knob and tube wiring. So we have knob and tube wiring in the house, and it's live. Main bathroom, upstairs, flush the toilet, got ground fault protection, run water at the sink. I could see the skylights from the main bathroom window, which is used as a vent, run hot and cold water at the tub and the shower to see if it's functional. And then we've got a plumbing access panel on the other side of the tub. Remove that to take a look for plumbing problems, issues, structural problems, water leaks. Find knob and tube wiring there inside the joist bay. So it's live wiring. May not see it down in the basement because it's easy access, but within the walls and the floor structure, there's live knob and tube wiring being used. There's the bathroom fan that was installed. It's not finished, not professionally done. That's that fan there. Okay, basement full bath. Down in the basement, I don't know what's going on with I guess this was tile and they removed the tile and the glue is still there or something. There's a lot to comment on. So as I'm inspecting, I'm just adjusting what I need to say. Oh, let's turn the light on. You see me better? There we go. So this cosmetic stuff is really just cosmetic in relation to the major problems that we're finding. That's why I love it when my client is with me because they can hear, you read and hear differently. So my report, I want them to understand what I've written before I write it, right? So I wouldn't be too concerned about the things like this stuff. I mean, this is a shower, it's functional, but man, is it nasty. I mean, it just wasn't installed well. They just put some plastic sheeting here that gooped a lot of silicone. And this is a concrete base, which is really nice. I'd save this, right? But I'd just remove all this stuff that's holding all this moisture and mold. Really gross. Laundry. Um, Remember that vent pipe on the outside? It was pushed out to, it's because it's not installed properly, right? I mean, this thing can go back and forth and is twisted on the outside, right? Um, You need GFCI protection now. Back then, when the house was built, it was built to code back then. Yep, everything was built to code back then, but like we need GFCI protection now. Hot and cold water, shut off valve, that's nice. Here's the gas line to the gas dryer. It was also electric. So GFCI protection, a couple other things. Interior. Um, I'm in the attic, right? And I'm coming down, I'm going through the bathroom. I organized the pictures for this slideshow a little bit differently, but basically I was in the attic and I'm coming down to the kitchen. I'm trying to get to the kitchen, going through the interior, looking at a representative number of windows and doors. This is missing a window lock, kind of minor, but I'll put it in the report. I'm able to do that quickly because I'm using my software while I'm inspecting. I'm writing my report while I'm inspecting. Um, Broken window that needs to be fixed. That's a single pane, old window. There's heating sources in every room, including this very old floor register. It's an older house. Missing handrail. That's the defect here. Missing handrail. You need a handrail is something that's graspable while you're walking up and down a flight of steps. So you need it here as well. The space between the spindles of the guard is large enough for a child to fall through. That's a safety issue. When the house was built, yep, that was just fine. But children have fallen through and have hurt themselves. Um, so we want to change that. We want our homes functioning and safe and healthy. That's why you get a home inspection. Moving through the house, representative number of doors, windows, the walls, the ceilings, the receptacles, the light fixtures, just checking on things, turning things on and off. My client is with me. We're opening and closing doors and windows. There's a few extension cords being used. Odd things about the floor, like being patched. Like they had a beautiful wooden floor and then they patched it with plywood and then put tile on, like vinyl flooring on top of it. This was maybe a floor register, not sure. They removed it. They put in a piece of plywood. Not sure what was here, but somebody needed a closet, so they built a closet, but it wasn't really finished well, as you can see. There was a floor register here, maybe in the wall with the baseboard trim, and then they removed it, but they put the baseboard in, but I don't know what they're doing. There's a lot of cosmetic damage there. Kind of minor in comparison to what really matters in the inspection. And my summary will really summarize what really matters. Here's the kitchen. 2 skylights. Remember the skylights? It was kind of iffy about how they looked. So right here below the skylights is where I like to look. And sure enough, there's water damage here. So you can use infrared, you can use a moisture meter, but if it's dry, I'm going to say that it could be an active roof leak. I mean, it's not raining today and hasn't rained for a couple days, so it's dry to the touch. Maybe even if my moisture meter, my infrared camera doesn't show me any anomalies, I'm going to say to my client, this might be an active roof leak, even though the skylights look new and the roof looks new. Just have to assume. Why? Well, who would leave this in their kitchen? Especially when they know that a home inspection is about to come, right? And on the other skylight, there's water damage here as well. So I'll just leave that to my client to handle. I'm I'm writing what I observe and telling my client, I'm describing the problems that I find. This is just below the skylight, and telling them what would happen if you don't fix the potential roof leak and who should fix it, right? Kitchen sink, garbage disposal, turns on and off with the switch there. Need GFCI protection. It is protected. All the receptacles on the counter and in the kitchen are GFCI protected. And the gas stove that needs a anti-tip device. The gas stove and the oven, it doesn't have a vent going outside. It's nice to have a gas stove with a vent that terminates outside. All mechanical vents in a home should be terminating outside, and that includes kitchen, bathroom, and laundry. And the dishwasher, I'll run the dishwasher a short cycle and see what happens. My inspection report summary. Here it is. In the summary, I tell my client that don't read the summary. I tell my client, I think it's here somewhere. There may be items in the full report that are not listed in the summary, right? Do not rely on this summary. If you're going to negotiate over defects that were discovered during the inspection, don't rely on just this summary. You want to use the full report. But in the summary, I have correction and further evaluation recommendations. And it adds up to several $1,000s. And that's the summary, 4-page summary. I think the agents love it. They like a summary printed out so that they can start marking things up with a pen. Even though we're in an electronic world, that summary report printed out was always really valuable to my clients. Maybe it's different in where you are. The full report, I tried to do the full report before I left the property. It was often a challenge. I could do it at night or later in the day or in the truck in between my 2 inspections, maybe for lunch. But here's the full report. The second page of the inspection report is titled, What Really Matters in a Home Inspection? Because I'm trying to set my client up with good expectations. They can't ask for everything to be fixed. The seller isn't even required to fix anything in a home inspection report. A home inspection isn't even required, right? This is just valuable information so that my client can make smart decisions. So I'm trying to help them focus on what really matters. And there's really 4 things that really matter during a home inspection. And so I list them, trying to get my clients to focus on the important stuff. Some introductory comments, talking about the scope and how to be concise in my report by using monitoring recommended, improvement and repair recommended, correction recommended, and how I describe defects. There are 4 different types of defects, from cosmetic that we don't care about to major material defects that are going to hurt somebody. Here are the pictures in my inspection report. And my inspection report follows my inspection process. So the first thing in the inspection report will be something like the roof or the chimney, something up there, and then the exterior, and then the systems, just the way I did my inspection. So there's like a nice natural flow. In fact, I think the standards of practice starts with the roof, right? So the standards of practice starts with the roof. My report on my inspection process starts with the roof. My report starts with the roof. And here's the chimney that penetrates the roof. And the way I handle my inspection process is I think of systems and components. Components are the small parts of a system. So I inspect the system from afar, like the exterior. I look at it from afar, and then I move closer. I look at the roof from afar, and then I move closer to the components. I look at the chimney from afar, and then I move closer to the components. I even touch each component, and you'll see my hand in a lot of pictures where I'm touching the component of the thing that I'm describing in the report. So there are the pictures of that chimney stack. That was so much fun to inspect. It's very wide, has a lot of problems. There's the asphalt shingles. I put good pictures in the report, not just filled with problems, because I want to actually show this off to agents who are reading my report. The seller's agent is going to read this inspection report. I'm going to make them read the inspection report so that they can see, this is a pretty good inspection. The seller's going to read the report for sure. Hopefully their agent. There's the exterior and the exterior components, right? I kind of missed the pictures on this page. I'm not sure why. And then cooling, there's no cooling. Plumbing, there's pictures of the plumbing. We saw these pictures. There's the hot water tank. There's the TPR valve that's dripping. There's the electric, an electric meter. What's wrong with the electric? Lots of odd wiring, labeling, and there's knob and tube. And overfusing, lots of overfusing and scorching inside the electrical panel. And there's that old fuse box in the garage. Heating, very old system. Just because it's old doesn't mean it's defective, but it is old. It's not reliable, right? It should be cleaned and inspected every year, and it has been cleaned and inspected in many years. So maybe that will trigger a conversation to replace the system, or at least budget for a new system quickly. And there's the basement. There's the garage on the outside. Detached garage has problems with the garage door opener and safety things and plugs and wiring. There's the laundry, has a few problems there. There's the attic space. Not sure if there's any insulation in the house. The bathrooms, some pictures of the bathrooms, and the kitchen. They got some problems there with the GFCI and the vent, and the interior has problems. There's a cracked glass and watermarks on the ceiling and missing handrail and space between the spindles. And there's a standards of practice summary. Like, I want my client to understand that there's a standards of practice, but I make them agree that they have read the inspection report and the standards of practice and the code of ethics. So in the contract between me and my client, I have them agree that they have read the entire standards of practice. Illustrations, you can download free illustrations to boost your inspection report from InterNACHI. This is really great stuff about the slope. The ground around the house should slope 6 inches in the first 10 feet. There are the components for the hot water tank. Knob and tube wiring, what does that look like? A heating system, how does that work? What are we talking about? Old drum humidifier components there, and there's the space between the spindles and the railing and all that stuff. So illustrations really boost an inspection report, make it really professional looking. And all of InterNACHI's illustrations, there are thousands of them, are available to InterNACHI members for free. And that's what we did. We inspected that house. Let's see. What are the questions here? Let's see. Most inspection software vendors have payments integrated in the software. Yep, some don't though. Looking for the structure of my business proper anyway. Yep. Start with a CPA and a business attorney. You probably will say something about an LLC. All the strange things that we found, like all that weird basement wiring and random pipe straps. How do you get written up as a defect? Man, it's tough. It's tough. So how do you write things up? I would steal report narratives. Oh, nachi.org slash, is it nachi.org/ everything? How am I gonna direct it? You're just gonna have to email me. What sample? Okay, we have a page of sample home inspection reports. And these are home inspection reports written by InterNACHI certified professional inspectors and certified master inspectors. And you are permitted to download the reports and use them to improve your own, which means like you go into Jim Crumb's home inspection report, and Jim Crumb writes really well home inspection reports, and you like the way he said this, you can just copy paste it into yours. I wouldn't do that directly, but I would use what Jim says about the water softener, right? In your inspection report, but put it in your language. So this is another resource for you. Talking about how to write reports, look at master inspector reports and compare them with yours, right? We also have a report writing class. We have several of them. We have other home inspection report resources. We have commercial inspection reports. I actually did a webinar as well. So if you go to InterNACHI webinars, nachi.org/webinars, and search for narratives, you can watch a video recording of a live webinar we did how to write your own inspection report narratives. That's a really good resource about writing reports that are really written well in your language that provide incredible, overwhelming value to your clients. Let's see. Good question, Keith. Joel, when performing inspections, do you typically look at systems, roof exterior entirety, then focus on areas of the house and look at other systems and areas and update those as you go through the house, or just trying to walk through it all at one time? My inspection process starts with the standards of practice. And standards of practice is basically systems and components within those systems. You start with that, or InterNACHI's basic checklist that we went over. That's a really great starting point. And then just keep adding to the things where you exceed the standards of practice. The word kitchen is not in the home inspection standards of practice, but you are definitely going to inspect the kitchen. So I would put a chapter, a section called kitchen in my inspection report software, and all the components in that, all the appliances. How do you inspect kitchen appliances? InterNACHI has a free online inspect appliances course. You go to our education page, type in appliance. It's such a great course, actually. And it says appliance inspection for home inspectors course. And this will show you how to inspect every system, every component in the kitchen that's an appliance. Like here they are: dishwasher, food waste disposer, range, exhaust hood, electric range, stove, cooking oven, a microwave oven, trash compactor, refrigerator, mechanical exhaust and bathroom heater, garage door operator, doorbell and chimes, and dryer vent. So kitchen's in there plus other appliances. Jeffrey says, good training. Thank you. Could you email me a final draft of the inspection? I'd love to learn how to. Jeff, you're going to have to email me. Just email me and I'll reply back. It's so much easier that way. HUD asks, does InterNACHI provide the online training for sewer scope inspections? Yes. You want to go to nachi.org/certification, nachi.org/certification, and scroll down to sewer, or Command F or Control F, find sewer scope inspection. So certified sewer scope inspection. So you want to get hands-on training or online training. You can also contact the instructor, Jim Crum, his son, Michael, and Mike is fantastic. They can help you with that. Any comments, questions? That's it. Awesome. That was fun. That was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun. Hey, remember all these contact URLs. We're all working for you. nachi.org/contact. Register for the next webinar. If you can't make it, just register. You get the link to the video recording to watch later. nachi.org/webinars. To find everything that we went over, nachi.org/everything. To get a really great customized website with SEO, nachi.org/website. And if you want to follow me on social media, we can have a lot of fun together on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. Just search InterNACHI Ben Gromicko. That was fun. Thank you for inspecting this house with me. Stay safe and healthy, everybody. And I'll see you on the next InterNACHI webinar. Bye, everybody.